Scrapper Dames fans. I am back again today with a layout. This one is my second for the Scrapping Good Times Facebook group, the design team when I'm the design team. This one is their colour challenge, and this month the colour challenge is to use purple and silver. And let me tell you, that was a challenge. I actually thought the purple would be more of a challenge, and I think I've done a challenge before where I had to use purple, but yeah, this one at first I was like, oh my god, I have no purple. What am I going to do? So I get a little bit creative with what I'm going to do, and as you can see, I've got that craft cardstock. I decided to use that background. I just felt that I wanted to use that instead of white this time, just to be a bit different. And I think the purple would stand out better, which, as you can see there, that's exactly what I've done. So I've used a Dylusions paint and the Kaiser Craft stencil there, and using my little ink dauber, I have just popped that paint around the stencil, and it actually has turned out, I think, really, really well. Now, I haven't pre-gessoed this, as you can tell. I am going to gesso this section here because I do plan to use some wet sort of media here. Some Dylusions ink, so I need it to make sure that it's not going to warp that page too much or wreck it too much. Now, I have to say, and I did leave this in just so those that are in the group who might be watching this, or any other sort of beginning mixed media artists, this did not go according to plan. Now, I saw someone else do this whilst watching their YouTube videos, and they used the ink over there, whatever, the ink, Dylusions ink there, to go through the stencil, and it worked really well. I don't know what I've done wrong, but what you will see shortly is I do leave it, as I said, to show you. It doesn't work. Now, I do try it a second time, hence why I've got all that purple there, and I just couldn't get it to work, and I was so frustrated. So decide to, as we say in scrapbooking, there is never any sort of wrong things. You just have to sort of go with it. So what I've done is, you can see there, I've just splotched some ink onto that spot with the gesso, and I'm going to try the packaging technique just to even out the purple so it doesn't look too mismatched, and then I'm just going to play around with my embellishments to sort of blend it in, I guess you could almost say, and make it work. So yes, as I said, there is no real mistakes in scrapbooking. They can always be embellished or played with. I must admit, when I did that and it didn't work, I was quite frustrated because I really thought it would look really good. But you know, it is what it is, so I just had to work with it. Now, this is a beautiful photo of my niece with her mum, so my brother's partner, after she was born. My niece was born, and she was allowed to come back up to the ward with mummy, and they're having their first little nighttime snuggle, and I just love this photo. So this is going into my niece's album. As I've said in previous videos, I'm making an album, a scrapbook album for her as well as one of my little projects, and so I'm just plodding along doing that, and I thought this would be perfect. Emma, who is her mum, likes the colour purple, and when she was pregnant with her, wanted to go with purple, so I do try and incorporate as much purple as possible into her book. So this challenge was perfect for this. As I said, because of the purple. Now, I thought purple was the difficult colour. I was wrong. Finding silver embellishments, or I don't even have a silver like coloured paint. I thought, oh, can I make like a paint sort of up through my texture paste? And I was like, no, that's going to not really go silver. It'll be sort of more of like a grey colour. Yeah, so I really had to dig through my stash. So as you can see, I've got these doilies here that are just random ones. I think I brought them from the reject shop or something, or like a $2 shop, and I don't use them very much because they're not quite what I liked at first. So yes, I'm using that, and then I think I have some silver sequins I got just tucked away somewhere, as well as there's some stars there. Yeah, so I had to play with it. So if you're doing this challenge, it really will, depending on what you like with your stash, but it will really get you thinking about creative ways of using these colours in your project. So yeah, some of you might not find it difficult because you might have, a million and one things in your stash that, are balanced in purple and silver, but I don't see a lot of I don't seem to come across a lot of purple papers and things like that. Maybe I'm just not looking for them. I don't know. It's not a colour I sort of go towards. And as for the silver, well, yeah, that was a tricky one. But as you'll see in the end, it works, and I really like how this layout ended up coming out, even with the botched stenciling on the side here. Now, this sticker sheet is an old Kaiser Craft one, and it probably comes in a collection, which there will probably be lots of purple. I don't have that collection. I just like the sticker sheet. So I don't think you can see that, but I think I just put a little border piece down the bottom. So just trying to find bits and pieces to put on the page that match the colours as best as possible without overloading the page. I don't want to take it away from this photo, and hence why I actually popped the photo up on some craft foam, so it is moved away from that sort of background as well, like the stenciling and things, because it is such a gorgeous and I guess meaningful photo as well for her album, so I don't want to take away from that. I add some texture here with just using some pale purple thread. You might notice of late I've been trying to use some thread on my layouts a bit more, just to add some texture, some interest, and just give it a go, because thread's not something, I'm not a sewer, so it's not something I generally play with. Are you kidding? All right, just placing that thread down. As I said, just giving to the page a bit of texture, a bit of different interest. And now I'm just going to build some embellishment clusters around the edge here. I don't do too much, just because I don't want it to take away from the photo. And I think with the craft cardstock, that darker coloured background, I don't think it needed too much added to it. I don't know why, it just seemed to add the right tone to the page, if that makes any sense. So I'm just digging around to try and find some purple pieces. I really wanted to stick to it. I do bring in some other colours away from the purple and silver, just because I thought those embellishments would look cute on this page. But you will see shortly, I think, I pull out my diamond press. I get a bit frustrated. I can't find what I'm looking for. So I'll bring in some other cardstock and pattern paper just to liven it up a little bit, make my own as well. Now I have a bit of a stick and plonk kind of thing happening here, whereas I'm just picking up an embellishment from this pack, and this is an old pack from the reject shop. Here we go. And yeah, I was just sort of going with the flow and just popping it down where it fitted. All right, so this is just some glitter cardstock, and I'm just using my little Kmart heart punch to punch out some little glittery hearts that I'm going to use. And then I have these other coloured pattern papers with purple in them, but that beautiful one with the butterflies and that it's just off to the left is really gorgeous, and I'm not really sure how I wanted to use it on the page, so I don't actually use it, as strange as that might sound, but it was really pretty. I didn't want to cut it up. So what you saw me do there is that's my little diamond press die cut machine. If you've not seen them before, they're available at Spotlight, so they're just a little mini die cutting machine, and they work really well in this case where I've been doing it of late, where I haven't got the embellishments I want, so this case purple coloured ones, so I just make my own. So I've cut out there, you can see I cut a large sort of scalloped circle that's actually firstly been embossed with some love hearts, which you might be able to see in the close-ups, not so much at the moment. And then I've just die cut out some, that's probably not even the way to say that, sorry, off with my own world today, some tiny hearts as well from that. Now I'll pop that little circle there, that's just on some some foam tape as well, just to make it level with the photo a little bit. And now I'm just going to start popping down these bits and pieces I've made and just wrapping up the layout without too much embellishing. So I have two little clusters here of embellishments, as you can see, one on the top corner and one in the bottom corner. And I don't feel it's over embellished. They're just a soft, nice little touch. They're cute little pieces and they add really well. So those hearts I've punched out, I've put 2 there. The third one has gone missing, and I sort of have a moment here where I'll look for it and then find it. Yes, see, here it is. I'm like, where is it? Now I cut 3. I ended up finding it. It fell off my mat onto the floor under my desk. All right, there we go. So going with that whole rule of 3 I've spoken about in previous videos, and making sure it's balanced here. I have this gorgeous little princess who now isn't such a baby. So she's 5 months old. Aren't you beautiful girl? So she's woken up and she is sitting next to me at the moment, or laying next to me, giving me most gorgeous smiles. I'm talking about you to the people. Yes, I am. Sorry, she's a bit distracting. She's very beautiful. Just love her. All right, so what am I doing? Oh, these little chipboard stars. Excuse me, sorry. So they're grey, but they've got different colours, and there's some silver diamantes in them. I only end up, as you can see, using the one. And then I add this border piece that's been in my stash. There's this one and there's a big orange one. Yeah, it's been in my stash since like forever. God, probably back to when I started scrapbooking. I think it was given to me, which is like 8 or 9 years ago. So it's been around a bit. Just playing here. I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry, it's off screen. I can't see it. What have I got? These are my sequins. Maybe. I think I do add some silver sequins. Oh, I'm just adding some more purple pieces from this. Yeah, so I'm adding this border at the top to balance the one that you'll see at the bottom. Now, this layer is pretty much done. You'll get some close-ups in a second as well. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with what's going on with my scrappy fun. And click on the link just back in that other page, slide, for the Scrapping Good Times Facebook group. It's a great little group. We have challenges each month. Everyone's really supportive. You get to share all your scrapping fun. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks, and bye.